Stay on side, Milano! Waddell, back post! Waddell! Early Coops! Coops, get the ball! Early! Early! Let's go, boys, hey! Close it here! Win it, Thomas! Fuck off. Get up! Second, Thomas, Charlie! Push the team! Get up, Jack, push on! That's your ball! Push him in, Mitchy, give it 1 more minute, come on! Cookie! Cook, hey! Jack, coming in! Ball, today, it's our ball! Behind you! Scorers for Blacktown City, Sebastian Melito and Brace, double to Thomas O'Brien. George City goals scored by Max Martinsic and Nicky Drummer. Full time in the under 20s. What a come from behind victory for your demons, 3 goals to 2. Action of the NPL New South Wales Men's competition moments away. Whilst both sides continue with their pre-game warm-up, we'll run through today's starting lineup for you. First of the visiting side, St George City, goals number 1, Jack Kenny, number 4, Solomon John Baker, 9, Mark McNulty, 10, Carl Mitri, 11, Moto Kamada, 15, Nathan Kamolti, 17, Noah Ovens, 18, 23, Dakota Askew, Van Der on the bench. Number 9, Johnny Moore. Number 12, Daniel McHugh. Number 17, Marty Fernandez. Number 19, Sebastian Hayward. Number 23, Jacob Kressner. Reserve keeper number 40, Cooper Rogers. Force coach by Mark Crittenden. Best of luck to both sides.
Test 1, 2, 3. Did I do the Good afternoon and welcome to a rematch of last year's elimination final between Blacktown City and St. George City FA. 11 games to go for both these teams and 11 points separate them. And for St. George City, their third year in the top flight of New South Wales NPL football. If they are to play finals football today, you have a feeling like 3 points is a must on this beautiful Sunday afternoon at Landon Stadium. St. George got back to winning ways with a dramatic come-from-behind 3-2 win against Spirit last weekend. Could that be the catalyst to a finals run for the team in red? Their opponents today, Blacktown, still sitting in those finals positions despite a run of 4 losses in their last 6. But when you think gold standard in the NPL, you think of Blacktown City, 7-time champions in this competition. And as they've shown in previous years, they can win it from anywhere. They're looking to restore a 7-point cushion between themselves and 7th place. Slightly delayed kickoff today because the under-20s ran a little bit late. It was a dramatic come-from-behind victory for Blacktown. They were down 2-0. They came back and won 3-2. Will we see the same amount of drama today? We certainly saw that amount of drama when these teams met in an elimination final last year. 6 goals. There was a red card as well. Both these teams will not care how they get 3 points, but it is a must this afternoon, particularly for the away team. Blacktown will get us underway in the traditional all-black kit. St. George City in red and white. Our referee today is Ivica Kovic. And we are ready. Huge 3 points on the line here at Landon Stadium. St. George City looking to cut the gap between themselves and the top 6. Blacktown City looking for some breathing room. And we are underway this afternoon. Elimination final rematch. Both these teams have made plenty of changes. Blacktown make 3 from the team that went down 1-0 to Apia, albeit only 88 minutes were played in that one. Lightning called the game to be suspended and then eventually called off with Apia given the victory. Mark Crittenden makes 3 changes in between the sticks. After his heroic effort was Caden Henderson. If it wasn't for that man in number 1, who knows what the scoreline could have been. Is going to be the opposite goalkeeper who gets an early touch, slightly mishit. Lachlan Campbell is wearing number 4. Super experienced Grant Lynch is in 5. Adam Berry is in 6. Travis Major is in 7. Jack O'Brien back into the starting lineup. He returned from a short absence. He wears the number 8. Maxim Yez is another one of those 3 changes. Mitch Malia in unbelievable form. I don't want to call it career best because he's had an amazing career, but he is in great form. He's in 14, and Benjamin Berry is the third of those 3 changes. He's in 16. Nicholas O'Brien in 18. Jackson Banderia in number 24 round out the 11. St. George City got back to winning ways, snapped a run of 5 games without a win. Came back from 2-0 down to beat Spirit. They make 5 changes. Jack Kenny is in between the 6 once again. The captain is Solomon John Monahan Vallejca, fresh off his appearance in the Team of the Week as well. Mark McNulty, their top goal scorer, is in 9 as Blacktown look to go long, and it might sit up here for Mitch Marley, and there is that man, Monahan Vallejca. You have a feeling he's going to be busy once again. That pass was slightly misplaced. Paulo Mitri is in 10. Back into the starting lineup is Fumutu Kamata. Nathan Grimaldi, also a huge inclusion for St. George City. Noah Ovens, whip it into the back post. And getting up there was Lachlan Campbell. Getting decent contact on it as well. And just a little mini bobble from Jack Kenny. He's able to defuse that one. But an early warning sign from Blacktown, who've looked to go long on a couple of occasions. Gonzalo Agrelos is thrown in from the start. He's in 18. Jesse Fotti is rewarded for his great cameo off the bench last week with a start as well in number 19. Dakota Askew in 23, and another man who appeared in the Team of the Week, Luisito Curry, is in number 33. It is going to be Askew to take the throw. As I mentioned, Manny Spanadakis making 5 changes, but bringing in the big guns. St. George City came into this game with 6 wins. They picked up their 6th last weekend. You have a feeling with 11 games to go, if they are going to be playing finals football, they will at least need to replicate the amount of wins they've had all season. At least you feel like they'd need 6 or more, 11 points between themselves and Blacktown City, who are tied on 33 points with Sydney United, who are also in action today. They take on Central Coast Mariners over at Plume Park. So if you've got multiple screens or maybe a phone and a laptop or an iPad or something, I suggest, if you can, multitask, because both those games will have a big bearing on finals football as we approach the final third of the season. And it's St. George City with their first venture into their attacking third, and Moto Kamada into the starting line. That's going to be a good battle. Down that left-hand side, electric pace, and Sanadakis making 5 changes. He's definitely thrown on the big guns. Nathan Grimaldi, after missing last week, a big inclusion as well. Good tackle. And here is Curry, fresh off that match winner last week. A beautiful curl effort. Maybe that is the catalyst for a run to the finals. Kamada already seen a lot of the ball early down that left-hand side. Malia, what a career, what a story as well. He was told that he'd never play again, had to retire. Now back into the team and approaching double-digit goals as well. He was told that he'd never play again. He then sought a second opinion and then received stem cells treatment after retiring in 2023. Trip to Florida, stem cell treatment. Returned in 2024. Central Coast Mariners, Perth Glory, and of course Sydney FC represented Australia at youth level. Go long to O'Brien, tussling with Grimaldi. That is going to be a great battle. Jack O'Brien, a prolific goal scorer the last couple seasons. By his high standards, only 6, which is still very tidy, especially with a third of the season still to play. Had 19 goals in the league last season, 17 the season before. He was really the only, him and Roy Donovan looked like the only people who had a remote chance of catching Ali Kudelshevsky, who once again is out on an island in the Golden Boot race in New South Wales. Good interception from St. George City. The alarm bells would have been ringing last week when they played a red-hot Spirit team. Spirit went 2-0 up. Of course, we saw Spirit. That was really the catalyst of it when they tuned up Blacktown to the tune of 3-0. Here's Dakota Askew, and you have the added just motivation of the fact that St. George FC, their neighbours, are back where they belong. Not only promoted, they won their derby, the first derby since being re-promoted last year, and they're also making a charge towards finals football. So football in the St. George area is thriving. Can the team who have become the gold standard in that derby make a charge back towards finals football? A club founded in 2016, promoted from the bottom tier all the way to the top. First season was in 2023. They finished 5th that season. Of course, there was no finals in 2023. That year, Blacktown were the defending champions, but Apia were the runaway winners. First past the post, another great interception by Monaghan Vaetra, and George City replicated that strong debut season with another 5th place finish and a debut in the finals, where they ran into their opponents today and they led 2-1 with 10 minutes to go, only for Blacktown to send it to extra time and eventually win by 4-2. And of course, the man who sealed that win today was none other than Mick Malia. Yes. Here's O'Brien dropping deep. Here's O'Brien trying to link up with Travis Major. Grimaldi, who's not playing as a central defender today. Looks like he's sitting at left back and tasked with marking the mayor of Blacktown, Travis Major. Has seen it all and done it all. Robbie Slater medal winner, which is the man of the match at the grand final in Blacktown's most recent championship, as that player pass is misplaced. And so much experience in this Blacktown team. It's why when you speak to anyone, whether it's a player from Marconi or Rockdale or Apia, any of those teams contending for silverware, they always say, be wary of Blacktown, because they can win it from anywhere. Malia went up against Askew. Askew does well. He's a great addition to this team. The move over from Apia was part of that 2023 championship winning team as One Mvaeka to deal with that awkward volley. It ends up skipping past O'Brien and it trickles out for a throw. This man, I want to talk about a marquee signing, Mark McNulty, has been getting better and better every week. Scored in back-to-back weeks, got 7 goals this season, comes with huge pedigree, having played in England, so in Scotland as well, and in Ireland. Here he is, going to take the throw quickly. O'Brien gets back there to head it away, but it falls to Paulo Mitri. We'll just skipped up on Jesse Foti there. Laid off to Paulo Mitri. Kamara. Patient build up here from St. George City. Curry. Mitri tried the delicate outside of the boot pass. Didn't come off that time. Yes. Another exciting youngster in this team. Came over from Bonnyrigg. Excited to see the 2 number 10s in action today. Mitri and Yes. There's no Danny Choi today. Came off after 15 minutes in that 1-0 loss to Apia. He was replaced by Yes, and no Choi in the lineup altogether. Major wants the ball, and he gets it. Going up against Dakota Askew, tries to dink it forward for Mitch Malia, and Noah Ovens gets back there to mop it up. Nice, tight passing to get out of trouble there from St. George City. Curry, lovely turn. Releases Grimaldi. Kamada with some space to run into. Curry has Dakota Askew making the run if he can find him. He goes for the switch, but Banderio does well. He may have fouled Askew. No, says Ivicakovic. And that delayed whistle there from Ivicakovic, but Dakota Askew did well. He was screaming for that ball. It's not a foul, actually. It's a throw. My apologies. Here we go. Dakota Askew will take it. Mitri holds the ball up. Looking for some support. Might go himself. Gets it from Ovens. Askew seeing plenty of the ball early. Monahan Vayeka fouls O'Brien, and chance for Blacktown to get out of trouble. Kovic making sure that Blacktown don't add a bit of GST to that free kick. He's Berry. Pass place goes out for a throw. Game just simmering along. 12 minutes gone here at Landon Stadium. No clear-cut chances yet. McNulty. Game's hanging in the balance so far. And Blacktown looking to do the double on City here. Beat them 2-0 at Penshurst Park. Mitch Malia and Danny Choi getting on the score sheet then when these teams met here at Landon Stadium in the regular season last year. St. George City picked up a win Curry. 40. So the switch. Dakota Askew gets up there. Thought he was fouled going up against Bandiera. That's been a good battle in the opening 15 minutes. Lewis Curry would be full of confidence after his winner last week. Tries it from distance, but not that time from Luisito. Played in. And Manchester City, and sealed that comeback last week with a beautiful curled effort. Gonzalo Agrelos started. He's been a super sub just like he was last week. Towed forward, Kenny does well to get there first. Exciting to see the two Visa marquees playing together from the start, Agrelos and McNulty. Switch for Grimaldi. Might be a defender, but he's got feet like a midfielder. That's a vote of confidence from his manager. Deploy him at left back today. Can play anywhere along that back line. Kamada with a lovely touch, but he mistimed his pass slightly, and he's not happy. He's going to show off some of that lightning pace that he has. Chip in for a goal as well. He's got 4 this season. George City, for their standards that they've created since coming up to the top flight in New South Wales, sitting way too close to that relegation zone for comfort. They give away a free kick here and a chance for Blacktown. Now we've had to absorb a little bit of pressure. St. George enjoying majority of the possession in the opening 15 minutes here. No clear-cut chances. We had an early heat check from Lewis Curry and a tame header at the back post from Lockie Campbell. The only chances to speak of so far. Here is Mitch Malia, their top goal scorer. Can he be provider? He goes short. He might want it back. He does. Mitri goes out there to defend. Falls to Yez. Tried to cross his body pass. Took a deflection, and that took the sting off it. It might sit up here for Mark McNulty. And back there, cool as a cucumber, was Jackson Banderia. Mark McNulty. 7 goals this season, really starting to heat up now. Came with very impressive CV as well. Playing for clubs like Sheffield United, Portsmouth, Coventry, Reading, Sunderland, Hibernian, Dundee United. He's also a Celtic youth player as well. Taken to life in St. George seamlessly. That one trickles out for a goal kick. 16 minutes gone here. Precious 3 points up for grabs for one of these teams. Teams met in an elimination final last year. If we're going to see a repeat of that or a repeat of St. George City playing finals football, they need to cut that gap between themselves and 6, which is currently occupied by their opponents today. Kenny goes long. Ovens was getting up there. Foti, one of 5 changes. Great off the bench last week. One of the catalysts for that comeback was 2-0. It was looking ominous for St. George City. A loss there would have almost surely put their faint finals hopes to bed, but they pulled off a remarkable comeback, scoring 3 goals in the last 15 minutes. And Manny Spanadakis bringing out the big guns for this game. 5 changes. They look to win back-to-back games. Brian thought he was fouled. Itzakovic was right on top of the action and plays it on. Switches it now out to the left-hand side. Kamada tries to go back inside, and Ben Berry was there. Which gets an applause from Mark Crittenden. Who, and this is an overused cliche in football, has seen it all and done it all. Lynch, so is this man. And Lynch looking to test the young centre-back. Oh, Ovens passes that test. Strong header away. McNulty dropping deep. Here's Luisito Curry, plays it back to his captain. They switch it out wide to Kamada once again. Hasn't been able to show off his pace yet. Was marginally offside a couple seconds ago. Dakota Askew's got some free AstroTurf out on this right-hand side. They play the short pass instead. On hand, Vayeka. Played for Mount Druitt. Oh, too far from here. In Seven Hills. About Blacktown. Socceroos factory. 5 players from the Socceroos squad in the Qatar World Cup in 2022 were ex-Blacktown players. Were the most well-represented club in the Socceroos squad for that World Cup, which is an insane achievement, but no surprise as well when you look at the success that this club has had in the 21st century. Blacktown will be kicking themselves that they don't have a chance at winning another Waratah Cup. Adding that to that trophy cabinet, they were stunned by SD Raiders. Here a couple weeks ago, we were Sydney United SD Raiders Waratah Cup final. Yes, looks to turn. Plays Lynch. Banderia's out wide. Lynch is harassed by Paolo Mitri and almost had his pass cut off there by McNulty. Goes long looking for Major. Grimaldi's getting back there. And just to cut off the angle, he plays it backwards. Guy Campbell lost the ball momentarily. Great work by McNulty to cut off the pass, but it falls straight back to Berry. Here's O'Brien. Lynch, such an experienced backline for Blacktown. Lynch goes long. Great ball to Major. That would have been a Tim Cahill-esque volley. 2014 World Cup, if that had came off. Travis Major, who is capable of scoring worldies, that would have been next level. Goes over the bar and 20 minutes gone. 0-0 is the score. If you're a St. George City fan, or even a neutral, you'd be impressed with what you've seen in the opening 20 minutes or so here. Kenny hasn't been tested, apart from a tame header in the first few minutes. Here he is to take the goal kick. It's long. 2 number 10s, both going for the ball there and missing it. Here is Mitri, may have got a shoulder in the back. Referee plays advantage. Dakota Askew is steaming down that right-hand side. Would have been a very tough pass. Commander acknowledges that he knows Askew had plenty of space, but that would have had to have been a David Beckham-esque ball to find him. Good start by the visitors. Enjoying plenty of the ball. Haven't created anything clear-cut yet, but good signs from the team that is looking to win back-to-back games. Haven't picked up a big scalp this season so far. They've beaten all the teams below them, and they did beat a very depleted Sydney FC team 5-0 early in the season. This would be their biggest scalp of the season by far. Kamada with a good ball in, looking for McNulty. Acrobatic clearance by O'Brien. On hand, Vayeka finds Lewis Curry. Lovely chipped ball to his winger Kamada. Gets the 1-2 off McNulty. Kamada cuts it back for Mark McNulty. Ran into a all-black brick wall there. O'Brien. Down, looking for a way out here. Yez does brilliantly to tow it past and win his team a free kick. And Fumoto Kamada has earned himself a spot in the book. Vickovic. Got a pretty cruisy opening 23 minutes there. That was excellent from the Blacktown number 10, because it looked like there was no hope of him coming out of there. St. George players closing in on him, but he manages to get a toe on the ball, win the free kick. And Fumoto Kamada is going to have to play the remainder 66 minutes or so on a yellow card. So we try and track a ball here. I think the ball boys have got the day off. We've located a ball. It's going to be Berry to take it. Adam Berry takes the free kick. Floats it into the back post. Major was up there. It might still fall here for Lynch. Best chance of the game so far for either team. That shot was sliced over the bar. If it was maybe half a metre, a little bit lower, that would have been rifling into the top corner. Without a doubt, the closest either of these teams have come to breaking the deadlock. Kenny takes the goal kick quickly. And a good start by the visitors. If you're just joining us now, 24 minutes gone. No goals yet. Good, composed, patient start by the away team. But that was just a little warning shot by Blacktown. Kamada entangled up there with Mitch Marley. He's going to have to be careful for Fumoto Kamada, because he just got yellow carded. And thankfully for him, Vickovic is in a good mood, because he was filthy about that call. Last warning is sufficient. Hayden Henderson goes long. Big gloves to fill after the departure of Tristan Prendergast, but he's done so seamlessly. It's been a seamless transition between goalkeepers for Blacktown. Banderia. Banderia looking for support. His defensive teammate instead, Lynch. His slice shot, the closest either of these teams have come to breaking the deadlock. They go long looking for Major. Smart play there from Askew to use his head and bring his goalkeeper into play. No goals after 25 minutes. This is one of two games happening simultaneously. And the weather gods have gifted us with a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Let's see if the football gods can work hand in hand with them. Here's Jesse Foti. Goes to the back post. Campbell, header, only as far as Kamada, who strikes it on the volley. Unable to get clean contact on that one, and ends up falling in the lap of Caden Henderson. Sydney United in action today as well. They're on equal points with the home team, Blacktown. Both on 33. They're looking to continue their great run. And Central Coast Mariners, they're at the opposite end of the table, sitting rock bottom on 7 points with just one win this season. When I get the chance, I might have a quick peek at the score and give you a bit of around the grounds action. If you're just solely watching this game, been treated to a very even opening 27 minutes here. As I just heard over the PA that because Mariners have taken the lead over at Plume Park. Excellent work there by the ground announcer here at Landon Stadium. That will have a big bearing on this game, because it means that if Blacktown were to get a result here and the score stays the same over at Plume Park, they would leapfrog them. Strong header from Dakota Askew right underneath my comm box there. You probably heard that one on the effects, Mike. It's been a strong start by the St. George City right back. McNulty, full of energy, pressing. Hasn't seen much in terms of goal-scoring opportunities yet. Curry battling against Yez, who may have tugged his shirt. Referee playing advantage. Grimaldi bursting forward, plays Kamada. Grimaldi's continued his run. And great work there. And George City given a boost today. The return of Tariq Erkcan as well on their bench. Missing 3 players who did start last week. No Dom Cox, Matt Walby, or Brody Clarkson. All of them out of the team altogether today, but their team's made a strong start, and that's a great ball. And Forty unable to get on the end of that cross. It was a beautiful ball, though. It just got a slight touch. It may have been bundled in. Just about half an hour gone here at Landon Stadium. Despite not creating a clear-cut goal-scoring chance, it's been a good start by the visitors. Patient, enjoyed a large chunk of the ball. And they're going to have a free kick here, which Agrelos takes quickly, and he dinks it through for McNulty. Flag stays down. Mark McNulty. You would have backed him to score that with the form that he's in. But the quick free kick, it was a masterstroke by Gonzalo Agrelos, and the two Visa players nearly linking up there. That is the best chance of the game for either team by a mile. Mark McNulty, St. George City's top goal scorer this season, the man you'd want with a chance like that. Unable to break the deadlock, and ended up being a pretty routine save for Caden Henderson, who made a catalogue of brilliant saves last week against Apia. We have seen goalkeepers from losing teams make the team of the week. I tell you what, Blacktown's number 1 was a shout last week. It could have gotten ugly if it wasn't for him. Gonzalo Agrelos, very dangerous set-piece positions. Beautiful dinked free kick set up. Monahan Valleca last week, it was almost like a pitching wedge out of a bunker in golf. And that was great. Eyes up football, took the free kick quickly. Him and McNulty are on the same page there. McNulty was in on goal. Unable to put it away, though. Let's see how the home team respond. Campbell. Long clearance. Falls to O'Brien. Here is Berry. Lynch. Banderia. Looking for Mitch Malia. Love scoring against St. George City. Did it in that elimination final. Outrageous effort. Very similar to goal we saw him score against Rockdale last season. He also scored a worldie against Mount Druitt. Blacktown losing out here, and Lewis Curry pounces on it. Was he fouled? He thought he was, just a little bit careless. Playing out from the back there from the home team, but they look to hit back straight away, going long for Major. That's a rookie and a vet matchup right there against Ovens. The youngster does well. Monahan Valleca, did he stop that one from going out? No, he didn't. This game has really picked up a notch now after that Mark McNulty chance. His career nearly pouncing on a little bit of sloppiness from the home team. Banderia. Can he find a cross? Ovens does well to get a cross, and he might. For a second, I thought. St. George City thought the last touch came off Blacktown. Mitch Malia will take the corner. Blacktown have looked dangerous from set pieces, and when they've whipped balls in like that one, Floated into the back post. Major keeps it in and just sends it straight back in there. And Lachlan Campbell does well to get the type of contact he did get on it. Unable to keep that header down. It's the second time Lockie Campbell's ventured forward and got his head on the end of a cross. McNulty might have added a bit of GST to that throw. Allowed to play on, looking for Fotty. Lynch. Calm on the ball there. Malia, great touch. He was expecting someone to be out on that left-hand touchline. Askew takes the throw. Noah Ovens. A great opening 34 minutes from the young defender, as is the case for Dakota Askew. Just as I say that, put the old commentator's curse on him. He misplaces a pass. Sorry, Dakota. Grimaldi goes long looking for McNulty. Well, this game's picked up a notch or two in terms of its pace, but also the passion as well. It's getting a little bit feisty. Players getting frustrated about certain calls and no calls. They know that this is very important 3 points for both their seasons. Ovens looking for Kamada. Unable to find him that time. Henderson. Probably having flashbacks to last week when McNulty was in on goal. Henderson made at least 2 or 3 brilliant one-on-one saves to keep the scoreline at 1-0. Blacktown didn't have too many chances other than a Mitch Malia effort that hit the post in that game against Apia, and not too many attacking chances in this one either. Just a couple half chances, a volley which would have been an absolutely outrageous goal from Travis Major if he pulled it off, but nothing clear-cut for the hosts. It's going to be a St. George City free kick here. Minutes to go here at Landon Stadium, approaching half-time in the other game. I can confirm that it is still 1-0 to the Central Coast Mariners. And into that game, just one win all season. That result will have bearings on the two teams here, because Blacktown and Sydney United both on equal points, but it's the visitors probably had the better of the action in the opening half. Dakota Askew now looking for the cross. Unable to find anyone in red. Picks out man in orange instead. Blacktown's goalkeeper. Continuing that great lineage of goalkeepers. Played for Blacktown, of course. Matty Ryan, ex-Blacktown player as well. And I mentioned it earlier. They sent 5 players to the Qatar World Cup. More than any other team. And by sent them there, I mean players with affiliation to that team. Of course, those players were juniors. O'Brien does well. Ryan going long. For Jack O'Brien, he sends that one onto the roof of the net. No Danny Choi today. Blacktown's such a shame. He's had a rough run with injuries. He was getting a good run of games as well, and he was starting to hit Danny Choi top form. He limped off after 15 minutes. His replacement in that game, Maxim Jez, starting in this one of 3 changes from Mark Crittenden. Both these teams ringing in the changes. St. George City made 5. Despite a heavily changed lineup, there were some big names brought into the team. Gonzalo Agrelos was one of them, and he nearly set up the opening goal for Mark McNulty. St. George City bringing in the big guns. So far, probably just pipping Blacktown in terms of ascendancy. They've made a very strong start here at Landon Stadium, a stadium where they did taste victory last season in the regular season. Looking to banish the ghosts of that elimination final defeat, which Blacktown won by 4 goals to 2. Half-time in that other game, Sydney United down 1-0 to Central Coast Mariners. This game started about 10 minutes late. 20s ran late. Drama-filled game in that one. That one was a little bit like the elimination final between these two teams. Towed forward for Agrelos, who's offside. He cuts it back for McNulty. And Remoto Kamato's in a cranky mood today, frustrated once again. Thought linked up with his Portuguese teammate there, but not that time. Brian going long. It might sit up here. Is that a penalty? Yes, it is. Blacktown City, who haven't created much in the opening 40 minutes, get an absolute gift here. They go long. Grimaldi pleads his case. It won't matter. And the long ball unlocks that St. George City backline and gives the hosts a golden opportunity to open the lead here. St. George City will be kicking themselves. They've made a great start to this game. Blacktown go long. And it's Nathan Grimaldi. He's made a great start to this game also. Gives away the foul. And it's a chance for Jack O'Brien to get goal number 7 of the season. O'Brien against Kenny. Sends the keeper the other way. Jack O'Brien gets goal number 7 of the season, and Blacktown City take the lead here at Landon Stadium. Jack O'Brien back amongst the goals, back in the starting lineup as well. St. George City will be absolutely kicking themselves because they've controlled much of this opening half. They had the best chance of the game about 10 minutes ago. But Blacktown, like they've tried all first half, going long, trying to force a mistake like they did. And it's Nathan Grimaldi who gives away the penalty, which was slotted by Jack O'Brien. That's now goal number 7 for him. Hasn't been as prolific as he has been in previous seasons. Did miss a chunk of action as well, but maybe he's timing his run like a racehorse for the final third of the season. Blacktown lead by 1-0 here, and maybe that will be the catalyst of more goals to come. St. George been very controlled in this opening half, controlling the majority of the ball. They're going to have to kick it up a notch though now if they are to topple this Blacktown brick wall. They did have a golden chance about 10 minutes ago. They'll be thinking about that and that log ball, which is almost like a hit and hope. Costly lapse in concentration there, but there's still plenty of time for this St. George City team to get back into the game. Go long once again. This time it'll trickle out for a goal kick. In a very fascinating opening half here. Too many clear-cut chances, but it should be the visitors who you have to say had control of most of it. Blacktown happy to just sit back, absorb a lot of the pressure and try and hit them on the counter-attack, try and go long like they did, which led to the penalty, which was slotted by Jack O'Brien. Safety first there. Did a bit of gardening, I think. A bit of landscaping to that tree. Branch came down with the ball. Mark Crittenden just urging his team to concentrate. Doesn't want his team setting a coach-killing goal right before half-time. Less than 90 seconds to go. The throw is long. Falls to Ovens. He's been brilliant in this opening half, as has this man, Dakota Askew, but they find themselves behind. Askew with a shot that looked more like a 2-point conversion you'd see from the Penrith Panthers. Jack O'Brien, 7 goals now in the league after that penalty. He also scored 2 goals in the cup. Brings his tally to 9 in all competitions. This Blacktown team can, despite some struggles in recent weeks, in front of goal, they can get goals from anywhere. Malia, Travis Major, and Jack O'Brien, all capable of winning golden boots. But at the moment, it's Mitch Malia who leads the team in goals. A little bit of debating going on at the moment. I believe there's been 3 minutes of added time, and I have to agree with the Blacktown players. I don't know where they pulled 3 minutes from, because it's been a game that's been played at a great pace, not too many stoppages, just the 1 goal. I guess there was a penalty. There's a pen, all the delays with that, the arguing. 3 minutes of added time for St. George City, who find themselves unlucky to be trailing. Bit of gamesmanship there from Mark Crittenden. Dakota Askew and him sharing a giggle there. Grimaldi. Playing Kamada. It is 3 minutes of added time. Yes, there was a penalty. Maybe a little bit of GST added on that one. Blacktown players weren't happy about it. They've got 3 more minutes to see out here. Askew. Travis Major getting back there. Askew tries it again. Takes a wicked deflection. Nearly lands in the lap of Mark McNulty. It almost fell there for Paulo Mitri. I beg your pardon, that was Gonzalo Agrelos. He's going to be another St. George City throw. And he looked to go long once again from the throw. Cannon of a throw. Getting up there was Berry. Kamada. Bit of space on this right-hand side. If Monahan Vayaka can find him, they go the opposite. And ends up falling for Caden Henderson, who will be in no rush to take this here. St. George City going to need to come from behind once again if they're to get something out of this game. Henderson goes long. Major flicks it on. Only plays in red in front of him. Monahan Vayaka. Ovens almost ran into trouble there. And up against Malia. Malia does well to poke it forward for Major and gets the ball back. It's Mitch Malia. The angle's tight. He squares it for Jack O'Brien and it skips past him. Wow. That was a huge let-off for St. George City, who are almost once again their worst enemies. Noah Ovens, who's been brilliant in this opening half, just holding on to the ball too long. Had it pinched from Mitch Malia, played a beautiful 1-2 with Travis Major. And then tried to square it up for Jack O'Brien and it skipped past Blacktown's number 8. Agonisingly close to getting a double in this game. And then that would have really been a mountain to climb for St. George City, but remains 1-0. We are surely in the final seconds. Note, that is that half-time here at Lendon Stadium. This game's really starting to get feisty as well. You can tell by the scenes on your camera how much the 3 points means this afternoon. It is Blacktown who lead it by 1-0. A Jack O'Brien penalty is the difference. The hosts absorbed a lot of pressure in that opening half. Tempers threatening to boil over a little bit here. It's a feisty one here at Lendon Stadium, but half-time, cooler heads will prevail. It is Blacktown who lead by 1-0. St. George City are up for it, though. They were very, very good in that opening half, and probably be kicking themselves that they go into the break trailing. 1-0. We'll be back very shortly. See you soon. Welcome back. Blacktown lead this one by 1-0, and it's fitting that a game that has been played during a beautiful Sunday afternoon is simmering like a nice Sunday roast. The longer that half went, the better it got, and it almost spilled over at the end there. Tempers starting to flare. It is a very important 3 points for both teams. St. George City get us back underway. They're going to have to come from behind again if they are to win back-to-back games. And they'll be filthy with themselves that they find themselves behind. They definitely had the best chance of that first half until Jack O'Brien gave Blacktown the lead from the penalty spot, and then a hopeful long ball for Mitch Malia was brought down, and the penalty was dispatched by Jack O'Brien. But George City were very good, particularly that man, Dakota Askew. Looks like he's switched sides, playing on the left now. Jack O'Brien, 7th goal in the league this season, is the difference between these two teams. And I haven't checked the score in the other game, but I believe it is still 1-0 the Central Coast Mariners. So that means that if this result stays the same and the result over at Plume Park stays the same, Blacktown will jump to 5th. Too many clear-cut chances in that opening half, but George looked very composed on the ball. They made a strong start. They were diving into tackles as well. Wow, there you go. I just heard it there from the ground announcer. Central Coast leading 2-0 against Sydney United. Big win for them if they were to hold on in the context of relegation, but also have a bearing on this game because it means that Blacktown could go 5th. They're looking for that second goal. Malia, lovely little dinked ball. It might still fall for Blacktown here. Great last-ditch defending there from Lewis Curry. He was the match winner last week. He may have just kept his team in the match with that last-ditch block there. It is a Blacktown corner. O'Brien will be the provider after scoring the opener. Lovely work here. This is a beautiful routine for Jez. It might still fall. That was straight out of the training ground. And St. George City were at 6s and 7s. They're absolutely mesmerised. It fell to Blacktown's number 10. If it wasn't for a great save by Jack Kenny and then a fortuitous ricochet which was cleared, it would have been 2-0 Blacktown. Great start to this second half. They might still get that second goal here. More defending. Ovens is now pushed out onto that right-hand side. Looks like Grimaldi's shifted more centrally in his more familiar centre-back position. This is a great run. That's a chance for St. George City to hit back. Fotty showing off that pace. Wins his team a throw. Frantic opening 3 minutes here in the second half. First half was a bit more of a slow cooker. This is a quick zap in the microwave. Grimaldi. Dakota Askew started the game right back. He's now drifted out to the left. Ovens now moved over to the right. Fotty caught a trailing leg there from Campbell. And this play is going to be stopped to the absolute displeasure, to put it mildly, of the Blacktown players. The partner was Gonzalo Agrelos, who copped a trailing boot. Blacktown players unhappy that play was stopped there. Campbell. He tangled up with a Grelos. Grelos in a super sub in recent weeks, but starting this game and getting agonisingly close to setting up the opening goal, taking a free kick quickly, playing in their top goal scorer, McNulty, unable to get the opener, and then Blacktown, it was really just a hit and hope. They went long looking for Malia, tangled up with Grimaldi. Penalty Blacktown, slotted by Jack O'Brien, and that's the difference so far. But Blacktown didn't create much in terms of goal-scoring chances. Look, a different team in this second half. Beautiful corner. Routine. Maxine Yez. So close to doubling Blacktown's lead. Here's Kamada. In a good battle between him and Campbell. And pacey wing has been well contained by the Blacktown right back so far. Plenty of football to be played here. 5 minutes gone in the second half. St. George City came into this game 11 points behind Blacktown, with 11 games to go. It'll be 10 after this one, so I feel like a win today and a chance to cut that gap between themselves and finals football to 8 is a must. Here's Campbell once again. He's fouled by Kamada, who is on a yellow card, so he has to be careful. Town City, plenty of firepower on their bench when they do decide to go there. Keanu Moore, Daniel McHugh, who was one of the catalysts of a great comeback for the under-20s earlier. He's on the bench. Martin Fernandez, Sebastian Hayward, Jacob Kresner, Cooper Rogers round out the bench for the home team. Lovely touch there by Kamado. Links up with McNulty. Plays Curry, slightly behind Mitri. Plays it out wide for Ovens. Bursting forward. Started the game as a centre-back, now playing as a right-back as St. George shift their back line. Cross looking for McNulty, it's over his head, and Brian does well. Major tries the outside of the boot fleet. Kamada seeing plenty of the ball early. On a hand, Vaeka. Plenty of time. Does find that pass. He was looking for McNulty. Skipped past George City's number 9. Gets the thumbs up, though he liked it. Unable to sit up on this AstroTurf, which can turn onto the M5. Balls can come in quick. Without using my Sunday roast analogy again, the first half was definitely more of a slow burner, but this second half, the opening 8 or so minutes, has been like a game of ping pong. Back and forth, end to end, played at a frantic pace. Blacktown certainly not sitting back, that's for sure. Going to kill this game off. George City looking for a reward for what's been a good showing so far in the opening 55 minutes, but so far, got nothing to show for it. Ovens, he's Foti, tangled up with Lynch. Chance for Blacktown now to break. They go long looking for O'Brien. It sits up for him. He tries to hit it first time. Might end up a good outcome here. It does. Malia keeps it in, goes back looking for O'Brien. Jack O'Brien might still be a good outcome. Jack O'Brien with 2 shots that turned into crosses, nearly coming off there for Blacktown. Here he is once again. Yez. Maxime Yez so close to doubling Blacktown's lead with a beautiful set piece routine. Lynch. Town happy to just take the sting out of it a little bit. Control the ball. Banderia runs into a dead end. Now St. George City looking to counter, but that pass was looking for McNulty, and it's wayward and out for a throw. What about that passage of play from Jack O'Brien? 2 shanked shots consecutively, nearly turning into gold. Lewis Curry. Bit of space in front of him. Plays Kamada. Great start to this second half. Imoto Kamada. Oh, nearly found McNulty. Lynch who got there first. For a second there, it looked like it was going to fall right on top of Mark McNulty's head. Lynch did enough, but he is going to have to defend this throw. George City not going down without a fight, that's for sure. Do have plenty of experience on their bench as well. I'll rattle off the substitutes after this throw. Major tangling up with Monahan Valleca. It's a heavyweight battle. Grimaldi. Unable to get through. Yes, there, who's done plenty of defending. The Blacktown number 10. Banderia looking for a teammate. Might go himself. Up against Ovens, who sees that one out for a throw. Strong tackle by the young man. They take the throw quickly. Looking for Malia. Monahan Valleca does well to get back there. Get in front. Nice strength from City's captain. Toes it forward. It's the path of Travis Major. Banderia goes out for another Blacktown throw. Jacob Kresner getting ready to come on. For Blacktown, it's going to be Jackson Banderia coming off. Kresner on. Banderia off. What? Jacob Kresner's been Blacktown's Mr. Fix-It. This season, they're Mr. Dependable. He got a last-second equaliser in their opening game against Marconi, and then found himself in the team of the week for a performance against the Central Coast Mariners a couple weeks ago as well. Has been Mr. Dependable, whether starting or coming off the bench. Been thrown on with about 30 minutes to go by Mark Crittenden. Going to be another Blacktown corner. And George City going to be switched on. Get caught out like they almost were earlier in the half. So you've got Maxime Yez lurking on the edge of the box once again. Well, they go the more conventional route this time. So Brian to take. Plays it into the near post. Campbell gets a flick on once again, and it's tipped over the bar by Kenny. Lockie Campbell must have a magnet in his head, because balls have just managed to find it no matter what. And he popped up there at the front post from a tight angle. Forced Jack Kenny to make a sharp save to tip over the bar, but it is another corner. It's going to be Yez to take it this time. Plays it short to Malia. To open it up. Goes on his right foot instead. Dinks it into the back post. It's a good ball. Headed away. It might fall for Lynch, though. Gives it back to Adam Berry. He sends it back in. It's Major at the back post. Heads it across goal. Clearance only as far as Lynch. Major sends it straight back in there. It might fall for Campbell, who I said had a magnet on his head. That time it was on his foot. A little bit of afters there on the goalkeeper, who's a little bit worse for wear, and a late whistle. Kenny's still down for St. George City. Got a little bit of afters there. It was, ball was bouncing around and fizzing around like a pinball machine. He copped maybe a stud on the leg. Okay, he's back to his feet. He was forced to make a sharp save, even though he made it look easy by tipping it over the bar. It was a great header from Lockie Campbell. That's got to be his third header at least. Defender causing trouble. Blacktown not sitting on this 1-goal lead. Hour gone. Jack O'Brien's penalty is still the difference, but we've had more action in this opening 15 in the second half than we had in the entire first half. Kresno's just been thrown on. Gives away the free kick. Tussling shoulder to shoulder there. He thought he won the ball fairly. Vitsakovic, our referee, disagrees. Going to be a free kick in a great position for St. George City. Crescent still pleading his case there. Chance for St. George City to equalise. Free kick definitely within range. Do they go the direct route? Or will they dink it in? Grelos to take it. Hits the wall. Strong stuff there. Grelos sends it back in. Almost falls for Grimaldi. Might still fall for Monahan Valleca. Great last-ditch dive there. Sold Monahan Valleca. Almost had goals in back-to-back weeks. It stays 1-0. Take the corner quickly. Curry unable to replicate the goal he scored last week. This game has really kicked up a notch in this second half. Both teams pushing for a goal. Blacktown looking for that comfort. George City looking for a way back into the game. Grimaldi thought he was fouled. A bit of afters there from Campbell, who's played the game hard but fair. Balls for O'Brien. He's just to skip past Foti. He's Malia. As Kresna making the overlapping run. He's got fresh legs. Fizzes it in. Kenny was there, though, to mop it up. Awkward, skidding ball. George, entire bench warming up now. They get ready to change the outcome of this game. As it stands, though, Blacktown will be opening up an even bigger gap between these two teams if the result stays this way. Lynch heads that ahead of Foti and then sends that one into the grandstand almost. Askew. Plenty of space. Might be tempted to shoot. Cuts in. Tries to find his winger instead. The frustration may be starting to creep in for St. George City. Looks like they're going to get ready to make a change as well. Blacktown looking to end this. I wouldn't call it a poor run of form. Yes, 4 losses in their last 6, but 3 of those against teams that are above them. Spirit, Rockdale and Apia. The only team they lost to that was below them was Sydney FC, who have been dynamite this season. They were brought back down to earth on Friday. It's going to be a corner, though, for St. George City. It's actually Blacktown who are going to get ready to make a change. Fernandez getting ready to come on. He's going to have to wait for this corner. 25 minutes to go here. St. George City lead, but they do have this. Big pun, Central City are behind. Falls to a Grelos. Curry's there. Plays it to the back post, looking for Monaghan Valleca. Almost falls for Mitri. He thought he'd won a corner. It's a goal kick. Blacktown will make that change now. It's going to be Martin Fernandez. No goal for Mitch Malia today, but just as influential. He won the penalty, which was dispatched by Jack O'Brien. He was getting ready to come off, but just Mark Crittenden saying, let's wait a sec. Askew does well to control that ball. Plays Ovens. A bit of space. It's Fotty out to his right. Plays him. Two number 10s going at it once again. Yez and Mitri. Ball nearly skipped past Lewis Curry, but Agrelos was there. Lovely feet from Mitri. Plays Curry. Looking for Kamada. Might sit up for him. Flag goes up. Fumoto Kamada is frustrated. Blacktown, the absolute opposite. They are delighted, and they are going to make that change now. It's going to be a double change. Sebastian Hayward getting ready to come on as well. So Malia off for Fernandez. And Jack O'Brien off for Hayward. So the two players that had a hand in the opening goal, Malia, who won the pen, O'Brien, who dispatched it, are off, and Fernandez and Hayward are on. Martin Fernandez had made a home for himself in the starting team the last month. Started this game from the bench, though. Crittenden made 3 changes. And so far, so good for the home team. 22 more minutes to go here. It's Blacktown who lead it by 1-0. Will we have more late drama? There were 2 different kinds of drama for these two teams last week. A dramatic comeback for St. George City, coming back from 2-0 down, and some dramatic weather for Blacktown, causing their game to be called off. Thankfully, we haven't had that issue today. Blacktown have now made 3 changes. St. George City yet to make any. Tarek Urchan back amongst the subs for his team. Nathan Roberts dropped to the substitutes bench as well. So did Kai Kamikura. Also got William Kunis and Zachariah Hamud as well. Maybe a free kick, a yellow card there shown. Looked like it was for Seb Hayward. Nathan Roberts getting ready to come on for St. George City. They're going to make their first change. Beg your pardon, the yellow card was for Adam Berry. Tarek Urchan. And Nathan Roberts on for St. George City. go. The ground announcer did my job for me. So confirmation of that double change for St. George City. A welcome sight for them, seeing Tarek Erchan back on the field. He's on. So is Nathan Roberts, Agrelos, and Kamada off. Kamada able to show us that electrifying pace. He was well contained by Lockie Campbell, who's a frustrated figure as well. Getting very animated. Picked up a yellow card in the first half as well. He's off for Roberts and Salo Agrelos. Typical Agrelos fashion. Beautifully. Quickly taken free kick. Probably should have set up the opening goal for St. George City. Here is one of the subs, Nathan Roberts, going up against Campbell. And just to skip past him, but great cover defending there. Throw taken quickly. Curry plays it back to Dakota Askew. Roberts. Askew. Can he find the cross? Yes, he can, but he's put too much on that one, and it floats over. You have to say, in this game, apart from that chance of Mark McNulty, St. George's biggest threat has been Sol Monahan Vieca. Ventured forward a couple of times and came close to getting an equaliser. Chaos in the box, almost fell to their captain who grabbed the goal last week. Proving to be a handful when he ventures forward once again. So far, nothing to show for a good performance from the away team. They trailed by 1-0 still. Last time I went around the grounds, courtesy of the great ground announcer here at Landon Stadium, it was 2-1 over at Plume Park. Mariners leading Sydney United. Ovens been rock solid whether he's played at centre-back or right-back this afternoon. But unless his team can find a goal, it looks like it'll be in a losing effort. Erchan. Great to have him back on the field. 9 appearances this season. The man who's worn the armband for the majority of the team's stay in the New South Wales NPL. It's now their 3rd season since winning promotion in 2023. Grimaldi going to get there ahead of Major, and he does. Major threw an arm out there, lucky it didn't hit it. Grimaldi goes long. Well, let's sit up here for McNulty. It does, he gets there first. Mark McNulty, the angle's tight, but he manages to find the back of the net anyway. Mark McNulty pulling a rabbit out of the hat there when it looked like he was running out of room. He now has goals in 3 consecutive games, and St. George City get the goal that you have to say they deserve. And Mark McNulty showing why he has played for some of the biggest teams in England and Scotland. That was beautiful from City's number 9 there to get there first, and then when the angle looked tight, finding a way to squeeze it in. And St. George City are back in this game, and we are set up for a grandstand. Final 16 minutes here. It is now 1-1. Team Blacktown and St. George City. There's always drama when these teams meet at Landon Stadium. Lovely work. Can the home team hit back straight away? It might fall for the substitute. Hayward! What a dramatic 60 seconds we've seen here at Landon Stadium, just as Blacktown concede. They go right up the other end and respond straight away, and it's the substitute, Sebastian Hayward. St. George City were probably still celebrating their equaliser. Unbelievable. I said there's always drama when these teams meet at Landon Stadium, and this is living up to that moniker there. Mark McNulty equalises, and I'm going to say not even 45 seconds later. Sebastian Hayward off the bench gives Blacktown the lead once again, and a special moment for Sebastian Hayward. Scores his first grade goal for Blacktown City. Congratulations, young man, and hopefully the first of many. Wow, insane last minute here. I hope you didn't go to the bathroom or make a coffee. You would have missed it all. Major. Did that hit Askew's hand? No, says the ref. Major then tackles Askew. That's two vets going up against it there. Beautiful work. You have the chance. Don't do this to the game you're currently watching. Maybe if you have your phone, go back and scrub through the last 60 seconds and just re-watch, because we don't have the benefit of instant replay. You can't have it all. You get to watch this game live and free. That's good enough. But if you have another screen in front of you, scrub back and just look at the beautiful work from Fernandez, one substitute, linking up with another. Sebastian Hayward, first grade goal, and what an important goal it is in the context of both these teams' season. Urchan must have thought that was Nathan Grimaldi, because he's given it straight to Major. Hayward, he'd be full of confidence. It's Major tangling up with Grimaldi. No whistle given, and Grimaldi is not happy, and that's to get a reaction like that out of Nathan Grimaldi. He must have been adamant that he should have got a whistle there, because he is one of the nicest, most mild-natured kids you'll ever meet. So for him to get that angry, must have had a case there. We have seen... First half wasn't bad. It was definitely a slow burner. To use a cricket analogy, it was a test match. This second half has been box office. Will we get another dramatic chapter? As it stands, Seb Hayward's first grade goal is the difference so far. Roberts wants it at the far post. Falls to McNulty. And I tell you what, that chaos that ensued after his equaliser has made us quickly forget about how good Mark McNulty's equaliser on. But now that is a distant memory. Major against Grimaldi. This has been a great battle. Great tackle there from Nathan Grimaldi, who is fired up. And as it stands, St. George City, who've been very good, they deserve something in the opening 78 minutes we've seen so far, look like they're going to make 45-minute trip back to the St. George area, back empty-handed. Unless they can pull a rabbit out of the hat here and pull this game out of the fire. Mark McNulty's goal quickly forgotten about. 45 seconds later. Major, was he offside? His shots over the bar, it wouldn't have counted anyway, and City going to make, I think George City that is, are going to make another change. It's going to be William Kunas coming on. Confirmation of that change. Curry off and Kunas on. Curry unable to get on the score sheet today. Show off that match winner and appearance in last week's New South Wales NPL Team of the Week. He makes way for Kunas. 11 minutes. St. George City to get something out of this game. You have to say they definitely deserve something, but football is a cruel game, and this young man's goal, his first grade goal, is the difference. Lynch bursting forward. Oh, Major wanted Hayward to continue his run. Maybe Hayward's still replaying that goal in his head. I would too. You never forget your first in anything. Ashton Hayward's senior first grade goal is the difference so far. Kenny goes long. Yes, been strong. But a lot of defending as well, a lot of the dirty work you don't necessarily associate with number 10s. Berry. Lynch. Just looking for a player in black, and I tell you what, the finish will get all the praise, but it was beautiful work by Martin Fernandez. Might be a little chip on his shoulder. As I mentioned when he came on, he was making a home for himself in the last month in that starting 11. Demoted to the bench, but responds brilliantly by setting up what could be the winner in this game, unless the team in red and white can find another goal. They worked so hard to get an equaliser. Mark McNulty pulling a rabbit out of the hat from a tight angle. And then, I'm going to say not even 45 seconds later, Sebastian Hayward restored Blacktown's lead. Crazy passage of play. Crazy 60 seconds. And George City get a free kick here. Manny Spanadakis urging his players forward. Jesse Foti, and get up there, son. Be in that territory where you see someone Monahan Valleca start venturing forward as well. Been dangerous. Going to be provider this time. He goes long for Askew. Does well to bring it down. Roberts trying to find McNulty. Might still fall for St. George City here. Mitri trying to get through some traffic. Yes, been fantastic today. Lovely, clean pair of feet by the ex-Bonnie Rig man. Hayward linking up with Travis Major, and the flag goes up, and then Major kicks the ball away. Grimaldi pleading for a card there. Gamesmanship creeping in here, and when you talk gamesmanship, there is none more experienced or better at grinding out results than Blacktown, who lead this game by 2-1. Fernandez, who's been brilliant since coming on, tried the curled effort, sends it over the bar, which just more precious seconds come off the clock. Kenny plays it short. Spanadakis wants his team to play it over the top. That's how they got the equaliser. Their play feels like they're playing into Blacktown's hands with passing like that. Goes to Monahan Valleca. Goes long this time, looking for McNulty, who was in a 2-on-1 handicap match there against the two Blacktown centre-backs. Major pokes that one forward for Fernandez. Might still fall for Fernandez. Was he dragged down by Dakota Askew? No. Vitsakovic is blown a free kick the other way. Now Fernandez getting tangled up with Kenny. Tempers have threatened to boil over on a couple of occasions here. It's been a feisty game. Thankfully, cooler heads prevail. Vitsakovic getting straight in there. That's a great referee to diffuse any drama. He's a big boy. Urchan. Is it out wide to Askew? Campbell getting back there and doing well. Whoever's been on that right-hand side, Guy Campbell has done a brilliant job containing. I don't do the 3-2-1, but Blacktown's right back would certainly be a shout for some points. Henderson goes long. Major. Holds it up for Fernandez. He's trying the switch. What's the other substitute? Hayward. Yes. He's been fantastic today. Falls to Major. Scott Kresner making the overlapping run. He may have just sealed it. Jacob Kresner, Blacktown's Mr. Dependable, comes off the bench and may have sealed the 3 points with Blacktown's third. Whether he started or come off the bench for Blacktown this season, Jacob Kresner has been reliable. And it's another substitute. Have to say, a masterstroke from Mark Crittenden. Two of his substitutes have scored 2 crucial goals, which may give Blacktown a match-winning 3-1 lead with 4 minutes to go. Keanu Moore getting ready to come on. Absolute scenes over at Plume Park as well, because Central Coast Mariners, with only seconds remaining in that one, are gonna beat Sydney United by 3-1. So what that means for these teams is that Blacktown will jump them into 5th position. Sydney United will fall to 6th. Lovely footballing. There's a few candidates for man of the match, but Maxim Yez has just gone about his business brilliantly today. Nice and composed on the ball in the lead up to that crucial third goal. He's also ripped in defensively. Here he is once again. Got up there with the best hair in the New South Wales NPL. He deserves a goal. Can he get it? Getting back there was Monahan Vayeka. Football is a cruel game because scoreline doesn't do justice to the St. George City performance this afternoon. They'll point to 2 crucial moments, though. As we approached half-time, conceding a penalty. And then, not even a minute after scoring the equaliser, which they worked so hard to get, falling behind once again to Sebastian Hayward. Jacob Kresner. Scoring the most important goals of the season for his team. Askew. 2 minutes and a bit of change to go here at Landon Stadium. Maybe set up for a grandstand finish. Foti trying to get around Kresner. Does well. Grimaldi. To this game, 2/3 of the season will be done and dusted. 20 out of 30. Still time. Gap between St. George City and 6th, who will now be Sydney United, remains 11 points. Plenty of ground to cover. They will need to go on a crazy run. St. George City, they've only won 6 games all season. You'd think they probably need at least 6 in their last 10 if they are to play finals football once again. And out wide to Fernandez. Tell you what, you wanted to... All of their substitutes have made an impact. Kresner and Hayward getting the goals, but can't sleep on the assist from Martin Fernandez, which set the tone and restored their lead. Cruel, cruel blow that was for St. George City. They might set up a grandstand finish here, but the ball's cleared away. 30 seconds of normal time to go. We managed somehow to get 3 minutes of added time in the first half. I don't know where we pulled that number from. So my guess is we should get a nice chunk here. looking for fresh legs of Keanu Moore. 5 minutes of added time. St. George City's comeback last week was dramatic. This would be another level. We'd need a new synonym for the word dramatic if they were to pull something out of this game. From here, 5 minutes to go. After this, St. George City on the road once again. Friday night, they travel to Cromer Park to take on Manly, a team they could have leapfrogged today if they won, but looks like it'll be another defeat for them in season 2025. At least they can get a goal here and set up a grandstand finish. Nothing doing for Paulo Mitri there, and Blacktown happy to just send that long for Hayward. Does well to wrestle Grimaldi and square it up for Keanu Moore. This would seal it. Keanu Moore, good low save from Jack Kenny, and Sebastian Hayward did fantastically to out-muscle and out-hustle Nathan Grimaldi. That is a size mismatch. It's a light heavyweight against a welterweight right there. Only one league goal this season for Keanu Moore. He probably should have had his second. George City, it's been their Achilles heel this season, and that's beating teams above them on the ladder. They've beaten everyone below them. Sutherland, Western Sydney, Mount Druitt, and the Central Coast Mariners. One win against a team above them was against Sydney FC in round 3, and that was essentially Sydney FC's under-18s team they played. They were so depleted with players on youth representative duty and A-League men's duty. Full time over at Plume Park. Central Coast Mariners get win number 2 of the season against Sydney United, and their impressive winning streak means that Blacktown will move to 36 points and jump above Sydney United into 5th position. Roberts. It's now or never for St. George City. And the ladder is looking like a reality now. Fernandez might go himself now. He set up that crucial second goal, skips past the challenge, and ends up falling to Urchen. Blacktown City on the road. They take on Sydney Olympic. A great game. Red hot Sydney Olympic as well. Just reminded everyone of what they're capable of with this run that they're on, but also that statement win in our match of the round yesterday, defeating Marconi, and we are set up for a brilliant final third of the season. Can Blacktown get that 4th goal? More. Should have. A couple minutes ago. Who else can get in on the act here? Football is a cruel game. Scoreline definitely not a reflection of how good St. George City have been this afternoon. But that, as they say, is football. Big fortnight coming up for Blacktown. They follow up that trip to Jubilee with a home game in a couple of weeks' time against Rockdale. That will be a blockbuster on another Sunday afternoon. St. George City follow that away trip to Manly with a home game against Mount Druitt. And then St. George Derby after that. Big month of football coming up for St. George City. Do you have a feeling probably done enough already to avoid relegation? If they are to make a crazy run to finals football, they're going to need to put together a super final 10 games of the season. Chen gives away the foul. Bit of frustration creeping in here. Coda Askew not happy with Sebastian Hayward, who's pushing and shoving, and Sebastian Hayward not interested. He's got his first grade goal. Ivica wraps it up. What a fantastic game of football we just witnessed here at Landon Stadium. First half was a slow roast. St. George City looked good until they gave a penalty away, which was won by Mitch Malia, dispatched by Jack O'Brien. But the first half was a slow burner. The second half was the exact opposite. It's like a game of tennis, back and forth. And St. George City, who deserved something out of this game, worked so hard to get back into it. It was their top goal scorer who did it, Mark McNulty, from an acute angle. Showed his class once again. And then not even 45 seconds after that, Blacktown from the kickoff go up the other end. There's the two substitutes, Martin Fernandez linking up with Sebastian Hayward, who scored his first grade goal. And then another substitute, Jacob Kresner, sealed it. Fantastic game of football here. It's finished. Full time at Landon Stadium. Blacktown City 3, St. George City 1. My name is Damo Denegris, and on behalf of everyone, Football New South Wales, have a lovely Sunday night.